Welcome back, guys, to the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where last episode with William Shamspeares and Adron B Metermann taking the stand, we learnt that the latter was a gasman who was peering through the bricks outside the victim's room all night, as we heard testimony about the wintry night of his discontent, pressing each statement until the jury butted in and declared their verdict. We then undertook a summation examination, pressing the jury as to their reasons and finding the weak point to be the victim's character, as we learned from the gas company owner's wife about Shamspeares' possible gas thievery, causing 4 jury members to rescind their verdict and allow us to continue the case. That is if the judge lets us continue, of course. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Oh no! However, in light of the fact that the jury had expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, worker? Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gasman's honor. Very well, then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeares, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord. It'll be my pleasure. On the Altamont gas name, I swear. If I may, my lord. And go ahead, madame. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Woo, oh yeah, sweet honey. Yeah. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting, you mark my words. So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. Yes, is that clear, my good man? Clear as Altamont gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Miss Susato? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo. So we get witness testimony, the Altamont Gas Company's investigation. They've been busy bees. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont Gas Meters accept property bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet, the meter in Mr. Shamspeares' room didn't have a single coin in it. And the meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks? Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet, now we must listen to this. Abhorrence. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your eastern island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Do what you will. Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. The Altamont Gas Company's investigation. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Hold it! So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspeare? Well now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survive the winter is beyond me, it really is. No, Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all of his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Metermann. Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Altamont gas meters accept for bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So if a 3p coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night. A bit more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Saseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Well, he might do, it's just buried. Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. How does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen on me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meter of coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. Hold it! Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas off us for ages. And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it? Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspeare Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3p pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty. I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said. You what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jammed open anywhere. Not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I've still got it. Oh. Right here. No wonder they call you Metermann. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. The gas meter has been entered into the court record. I probably should have checked out a little bit more than that. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Oof. And the meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agency has the only key. Well, we'll be the judge of that. I hate that you just can't court record without pressing present. It just always makes me worry I'm accidentally going to present something. So we didn't read what it said. A meter that dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted. It sports a very strong lock, developed especially with Mr. Shamspeare in mind. Let's have a look-see. Not tampered with. At first, I was going down to kind of look around it, and then I was like, what's that? Like a seal of wax. So you've made sure it's you put it there and you can see if the wax has been broken as well as the lock. So if it's getting through either way, one way or the other, seems to be the case, doesn't it? Well, that looks tampered with. Oh, have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo? Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see? Little. Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed. It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say. So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeares? Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside. Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there. That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious. You just have to poke something inside the mechanism for it to register after a coin usually drops through a thing and it moves something inside, say like a coin of X size has been through. I mean, we may well examine the wax seal too. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? And the money box is sealed with beeswax too. So if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately. Listen, Nalahoda, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would... You know, you didn't finish that sentence, don't you? Well, anyway. It's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs. But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Right, what else is there to check out, if anything? Dials, the box itself, there's the pipes that's maybe like how it's affixed. Doesn't seem to be anything else to examine apart from those two things. Meanwhile, however, the meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, so I may as well just present this straight to this, because we just literally found out it has been.
Objection!
Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs that haven't been tampered with. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Oh, what? You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspeares secretly opened up this hole himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why? Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the course some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I specifically like to know is... how it differentiates coins, like I was saying. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's being fed is a threepenny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a threepenny bit. Nothing else will fit. So I guess I press this again now.
Hold it!
But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3p coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would, that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well. We've thought of that though anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. We live for moments like that as gasmen do. Live for them, ha! It would seem the gas company has thought of everything. Ooh, hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Altamont all the way! That's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are threepenny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Nalahodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. To delve deeper or leave it be. Why not delve? How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel, and the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you, it's quite impossible to dismantle it. Ooh, yeah! Nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. And the witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. All joints on the meter are welded shut and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it. Okay. I guess I could press this one again. Hold it! Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is it welded steel construction, or is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yeah, she may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about how the meter differentiates coins, for example. Okay. So this time round, unlike other times while we've been playing the Chronicles, when we've got an extra statement, this one's a switch in and out. So it's just simply not follow the breadcrumb trail. We actually have to make a choice for one of the first times, I feel. So we've got to figure out what's going on here. So I think it's with the mechanism. So I don't think it's dismantling. Of course, she said it can't be dismantled. So we got to figure out how he's diddling them. So he's got a hole in the bottom. I'm wondering if... But see, here we go. We probably have to present something at the statement. So, of course, first of all, I'm wondering if something's being jammed in from the bottom to, like, mess with some mechanism in the top. However, I'm assuming we don't have any kind of stuff to go in league with that. Like a screwdriver or just a long stick. Now... this makes us think. Okay. So, when we got this picture, we noticed there was a puddle underneath the meter, which was weird. Or more to the point, noticed there's a puddle on the floor, but now the fact that the puddle is underneath the meter means a little bit more. So where do we go from here? And it's a coin about X amount in diameter. Wait, I'm confused. Was this hole always in this bar of soap? Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across. Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think... We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly. Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could he have gone? Oh, okay. A 2 centimeter diameter circular depression in the middle of one surface. So, my God. Okay then, so where's it gone? So first of all, no matter what, we need to go through the delve deeper option again. So while I'm skipping through this sentence at this point in time to get back to the main statement by the look of it, it's now somewhat evident that quite possibly the soap itself is a mold for something to be a coin, some form of wax to be a coin that melts at a temperature that is lower than obviously the wax on the meter itself. Or at least, of course, it's not being directly heated because you'd be heating the very bottom of the thing. So he basically melts the wax out of the thing. Or it's something like a bit more watery, like an ice cube-ish kind of thing, and it melts out that way. It might not be wax at all, though it's red, so that's why I'm thinking wax. On the basis that he has to go outside and set it on the windowsill, past the bricks, which is why he puts it out there in the cold to set whatever it is, which you don't need gas as much during the summer months. So, he is remelting something down, or it just melts naturally at room temperature, and it comes out the bottom of that hole that's been punctured. So whatever he puts in goes out. He then redoes something, sets it in the bar of soap, and then puts it down the thing. That's what it looks like at the moment. So I'm assuming that I am presenting the soap to this statement.
Objection!
That was a harder one. That was different than the rest in the series. I like the way it's going. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and the thickness would be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeares' room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a threepenny bit. What was it? The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap. It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. Switcheroo. Oh, shoot, I'm supposed to prevent it. What's that funny little round depression in the middle of the soap? Yes, it's a perfect circle. And I would say almost 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Rather like something else we've been talking about recently, in fact. Mr. Narahodo, is this part of the soap you need to show to the court?
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah! Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as the threepenny bit. Get away! Is anyone here present having their possession of threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that putting a coin with some force into a full-quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some metal wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeares has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There was one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly, and the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that is your certain counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. Where on the meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins disappear be seen? Is it the fact that the wax is a little bit melty? But to be honest, it would have snapped by now if it was actually being melted as well properly. I think that wax is fine. You can see the circles there quite fine. So it's just the bottom because it's melted out the bottom, right?
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Metermann, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ah, I get it! That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamspeares has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water. That's right, madame. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless. I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence. Sorry? I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspeares has been stealing gas is...
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspeares. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspeares' room. Now look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly. It's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. Ah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all of his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspeares slumped up over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It would appear to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? What? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but... certainly not. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspeares was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van... Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah! But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious. Lord Van Zeeks! I was throwing my hand up in despair and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? I mean, he's a gas thief, but nothing else, I guess. I guess that's it. Prosecutor Van Zeeks. Well, let's end another episode of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve here and try to answer this question next time. Well, we did prove one thing. We proved the character of William Shamspeares is not so upstanding. With a name like that, how could it be? Clever, ingenious method though. He's got some brains on him, that's for sure. I'll see you next time for more. Bye-bye.